Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be focusing on the fundamental strength needed in our lower limbs, that's our pelvis and our legs. So today we're going to be focusing on hitting all the main muscle groups in our legs, so our glutes, all around our thighs and all around the lower part of our legs as well. So for today you're going to need some weight if you want to add weight to the exercises. They can all be done just with your body weight, but if you do want to add more load then you can. I'm going to be using a circular resistance band just for a couple of the exercises, and also a chair, preferably a comfortable one so that you can rest your leg on it. You'll see when we get to that point. Okay, so get yourself set up, get all the equipment you need, and let's get going. For our first exercise, we're going to just do some body weight squats into a heel raise. Okay, so first of all, I just want to make sure that we're all happy with the technique for our squat. So you're going to make sure that your weight is in your heels, and as you bend your knees to drop down, you're going to make sure that your bum sinks backwards. So it's going to go back and then down. We're going to try and keep the chest and the head lifted, so I don't want you to fold forward and rest on your thighs. We want all of the kind of drop down to be coming from the legs. Dropping down, your knees are just going to make sure they stay backwards, so I don't want them to come forward in front of your toes, just as much as you can control. Dropping down, making sure that you can wiggle your toes all the way down. We're going to go nice and low, and then we're going to squeeze. As we get to the top, I want you to squeeze your glutes and thrust forward slightly. Okay, at which point we're then going to go up onto the heels. We're then going to come back down and then go back down into the next squat. Okay, so pause the video if you need a second just to make sure that your technique is good for your squat. Otherwise, let's go for it. I'm just going to bring my hands out in front, and we're going to drop down, lifting back up, squeezing through the glutes, going up onto the toes, and then we're going to keep going. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and that's 10. Okay, let's have a little rest. We're going to do 3 sets of these with just a short rest in between, just because this is kind of like our warm-up round. Okay, so if you need a little bit longer, pause the video. Otherwise, let's just take a couple of nice deep breaths and then go for our next set. Okay, set yourself up. So feet can be neutral, just go into a comfortable position for you. Hands out in front, sinking the bum back, keeping the knees back behind your toes, chest and head lifted. Squeeze the glutes and lift up onto your toes. And let's keep going. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Okay, let's have a little breather. Okay, so for your squats, I don't really mind if your technique is slightly different to mine. I've only got those kind of couple of points that I've mentioned already that I find that are quite important for kind of getting all the muscle activation that we need, okay? So just making sure that we are getting the balance in the heels, wiggling the toes throughout, keeping the chest lifted. I find with pole dancers, because a lot of us are quite flexible, we often cheat by leaning on our thighs like this. Okay, so that is why I want you to keep your chest up. Try and keep that gap between your thighs and your belly so that you are activating your lower back and your glutes properly. Okay, let's go for our last set. Hands out in front, and let's go for it. Dropping down, up onto the toes, squeezing the glutes at the top. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Well done everyone, give it a little shake out. Okay, for our next exercise, we're going to do some crab walks, which is basically a squat where we're going to just travel sideways across the room. So I'm going to count us for going 5 one way and then 5 the other way. Okay, so we will evenly get both legs and we'll do 3 sets of that. So let's set ourselves up. We're going to start with our feet quite narrow. We're going to just drop down into a quarter squat or even less than that. So just a bit of a bend in the knees, a bit of a squeeze through the glutes. Hands out in front again. We're then going to drop across slightly with one leg, come down into a full squat, pushing out just slightly on the band we've got around the knees. As we come back up, I don't want you to fully extend. You're going to just keep your legs in this slightly bent position. Then we're going to walk one leg across and then come across and squat down, okay? So let's go back to the start and do it all together. So we're going to start quite close together with the knees. We're then going to drop out on the knees slightly, pushing out against that band, okay? So we're going to go slightly wider, drop down. That's 1, step across, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're going to step in. We're going to start again nice and narrow with the legs. Step across. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one. Step down. That's 5. Okay, let's have a little rest. Okay, so with this one, just making sure that we're not going into that fully extended position, keeping the knees a little bit bent throughout, okay? So we've got that glute activation all the way through each walk. Okay, nice couple of deep breaths. Ready for our next set. Okay, nice and narrow. Let's drop down slightly. We're going to step across. Drop down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go back the other way, so starting narrow. Step across, drop down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and come back up. All right, a little bit of a breather before our last set, okay? Just a quick reminder here that I'm not really fussed about technique being perfect. It is just about getting everything working, and by walking across we are going to get our glute med muscles a little bit more than we will by just doing static squats, okay? It also makes it a little bit more interesting rather than just doing the same thing all the time. Okay, so let's go for our final set. Narrow stance, slight bend in the knee, hands in front, step across, drop down. 1, 2, 3, 4, last one this way, and 5. Go for our narrow stance. We're going to step out. 1, 2, 3, 4, last one, drop down, and that's 5. Give it a little shake out. Well done, everyone. For our next exercise, we're going to do a nice wide lunge into a knee raise. So you're going to stand on the front of your mat. You're going to step back nice and wide, so going on the toes of your back foot, keeping your chest lifted and your head up towards the ceiling. We're going to bend the back knee, hands on the hips just to keep nice and stable. We're going to gently tap the knee down towards the floor. We're then going to power through that back leg, lift up into a knee raise, and then we're going to go straight wide and down into our lunge position. Okay, so get ready, let's all do it together. We're going to go wide, gentle tap down and thrust through. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Bring the legs together. Let's go on the other side. So nice wide step, drop down, gently tap the knee and thrust through. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one on this side, 10. Okay, shake it out a second, take a nice couple of deep breaths. So with this exercise, we have got a little bit of kind of instability going on in some of the areas, especially as we lift up into that single leg part. So if you remember from the stability video at the beginning of this week, if you do lose your balance, just pop a toe down, try and get your balance back and then carry on as best you can with the exercise, okay? So you don't need to completely stop. It's just about kind of building on that balance and that strength, okay? Don't just give up just because you kind of wobbled a little bit, okay? So let's go for our next set. So stepping back nice and wide, dropping down on that back leg and then thrusting the other leg through. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last 1, 10, change sides, nice and wide, drop down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last 1, 10. Okay, give it a little shake out. Okay, we've just got one last set left of these. And remember, if you want to add some weights to this, you can. I'm just doing it with bodyweight because I find that it's enough for me, but you can always hold a weight out in front of you or kind of 2 by your sides, whatever feels comfortable for you. But you are absolutely welcome to add some extra load to these exercises. Okay, so let's go for our final set of these. So nice wide step back, dropping down and thrusting through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's change sides. Nice wide step back, drop down and thrust through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last 1, and that's 10. Give it a little step out. Okay, so for the next exercise, I've grabbed myself some weights. So you can either have one weight in each hand, you can hold just one weight out in front of you. If you've got a bar, you can hold a bar, literally whatever feels comfortable for you. But we're gonna do some deadlifts. So off the pole deadlifts for today. So you're gonna have your feet around shoulder width apart. Again, just do what's comfortable for you. We're gonna have the weights just hanging out in front of us, okay? Just make sure you're engaging the shoulders so they're not just dropping down. And then we're gonna slightly bend the knees and then we're gonna hinge at the hips. So we're just gonna fold forward and the weights wanna basically just slide kind of down your shins and then back up. They don't need to literally touch your shins. I've seen some people get some nice bruises from doing that, okay? So they can just be kind of near to your shins and that's absolutely fine, okay? So slight bend in the knee, let's go for it. We're gonna drop down. Just go as low as you feel comfortable. This will be a nice stretch on your hamstrings as well. As you get to the top, just thrust, squeeze in your butt and let's go again. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and that's 10. Give it a little shake out. So you'll probably predominantly feel this in your hamstring, so you should be getting a bit of a stretch on the kind of upper part of your hamstring as you lean forward. And then as you pull back through, it's going to be your lower back, your glutes, and again, your hamstrings working to pull you back up, okay? So this is a really great exercise for mitigating injuries in your hamstrings, okay? So let's go for another set. As always, pause the video if you need to, okay? So hinging forward with a slight bend in the knees, keeping the chest and head lifted, and then thrust at the end. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and that's 10. Whew, take a nice couple of deep breaths, just to let yourself have time to rest in between. Okay, so we're going to go on to our last set now. All right, so if you're finding that this has been a bit too easy for you, feel free to up the weights, feel free to up the range of movement. You can also do these with a straighter leg, so if you want to get even more work through those hamstrings, then you can just keep your knees a little bit more straight, okay? Again, just do what feels comfortable and good for you. So let's go for our last set. A little bit of a bend in the knees, folding forward, keeping the head up and thrust. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one. And that's 10. Give it a little walk out. Okay, so our next exercise, we're going to do a Copenhagen Plank, which works the insides of your legs. It's really, really good for strengthening your adductors, which is the muscles that we stretch out for box splits, and we use them a lot when we're kind of doing leg hangs on the pole. And if you're ever someone that's either had an adductor strain sort of by your knee or up into your groin, this is going to be a really good exercise for you. And it's a really good rehab one, later stage rehab, so not when you've got an actual injury. So if you do have any pain there, maybe give this one a miss. Okay, so I've got quite a high setup here. You don't need to be this high. We just basically need enough space for you to fit one leg underneath a platform and one leg over the top of a platform. Okay, so you may even be able to use like the edge of your bed or something, depending on what that looks like for you. All right, so let's go for it. We're gonna bring one leg underneath, like I said. I'm just gonna go on my forearm with the bottom arm, and then I'm gonna bring my other leg on top. As you can see, I have my lovely pillow here, which is just gonna help give me a little bit more comfort when pressing my leg down in towards the chair. So you can just use kind of like your lower part of your body to help lift you up. Okay, get a nice bit of pressure through that leg. You can bring one hand on your hip, or you can have it out in front of you if you need a little bit of extra balance and support. So from here, I'm gonna push down on my leg, and I'm gonna lift the other one up very slightly, and then drop it back down. Okay, so let's go for it. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Come back down. Okay, so the more comfortable you get with this, the higher up you're going to be able to lift that leg, okay? So I'm just going to do a little one because I don't want to overwork my adductors and cause myself an injury. So if this is like a brand new exercise for you, then you may even just want to leave that leg on the floor and just press down through the leg. Okay, there's lots of different ways. As long as you can feel it working on the inside of your leg, then we're good. Okay, let's change sides. So one leg under, one leg over. Push yourself up, press that leg down in towards your platform, and let's go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and that's 10. Bring yourself down. If you want to, in between this exercise, while we're having a rest, you want to just sort of go into a bit of a butterfly stretch, that's absolutely fine, just to open out the adductors a little bit. So with this exercise, we're working our adductors, as I've already said, but they're kind of in a very small range. So obviously with pole, we often work into much larger ranges, okay? So just keep an eye for the active lower body flexibility class, which is going to be coming up on the final week of this month, okay, which is March 2021 for when that's out of date. And that will be working our adductors into a much larger range, which is a little bit more transferable to the pole, okay? So remember, this is kind of just like a fundamental strength that's really great for you to have, all right, but it doesn't actually necessarily transfer directly into some of the movements that we do on the pole. Okay, so a really good base exercise, essentially. Okay, let's set ourselves up for our next set. So bringing yourself into position, pushing that top leg down, and let's go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10, and then coming back down. Let's change sides. Bring yourself into position. pushing yourself up, and let's go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and come back down. If you want to, just stretching out into that butterfly shape again. Just taking a nice few deep breaths. Let's get ourselves ready for our last set. And as usual, you know what to do. Pause the video if you need a little bit longer in between. So let's set ourselves up. Bringing one leg on top, pushing through, hand on the hip, and let's go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. And gently coming out, let's change sides. Pushing through that leg, and let's go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. And gently coming out. If you want to just do one last stretch, if it feels good to do so, then bring yourself into your butterfly position. And just take a nice deep breath. Okay, so for our final set of exercises, we're going to do a few different glute bridge variations. So for the first one, we're going to have a circular band around the knees so that we've got a bit of a press out on there. And then I've also got just a small platform here so that we can incline the feet up. This is going to get more into the hamstrings, okay? And you can have whatever height you want. So you can use a chair if you want, you can use the edge of your bed, you can use anything. I'm just going to have a small incline for myself today. The last thing that you can do if you want is you can have a weight and just hold it just by your pelvis so that when you press up, you've got a little bit of extra weight around the pelvis area to get your glutes activating even more. Okay, but that's optional. You can do whatever you like. So you're going to bring your feet on your platform, and we've got a band just around the knees here. So we're always just going to have a slight press out on the knees just to get the glute med to switch on a little bit more strongly. We're then going to tuck the tailbone under, squeezing through the glutes. We're going to lift all the way up to the top. I'm going to encourage you to give your bum a punch here to make sure that those glutes are firing nice and strongly and maintaining that press out through the knees as you go. We're then going to lower down vertebra at a time all the way through, and then we're just going to let the pelvis relax out at the end. Okay, so that's 1. Let's keep going. We're going to tuck, we're going to lift, we're going to punch, and then we're going to lower back down, keeping that really strong squeeze to the glutes throughout. That's 2. Let's keep going. If you need to, keep doing that punch. Keep the knees pressed out the whole time. Gently lowering down, relax out. That's 3. Okay, well done. Let's keep going. And we're on 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And we're on our 10th one now. What I want you to do is just hold at the top, punch the butt, keep that squeeze going. And now we're going to bring the knees out away on our band. So we're going to go 1. Keep the knees pushing out. 2. Keep the hips lifted. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10, bring it in, finish off nicely, nice and gently, and relax out at the end. Okay, let's have a little rest, have a nice breather here. Okay, so you've noticed with this one probably that I'm counting a bit slower than normal, and that's because I really want you to focus on that squeeze throughout this movement. Okay, glute bridges are one of my favorite things to do for my lower body strength, okay, because you can really activate as much as you can, and then they become quite intense quite quickly. And I do like an exercise that you can make more intense more easily because you're going to get more from that, okay? So in this exercise, you should probably feel your glutes switching on, definitely your hamstring, maybe your lower back as well, but that's okay. We need to strengthen the lower back too. It doesn't mean it's bad. I know sometimes it's a bit worrying when you feel your lower back switching on, but it's all absolutely fine. Okay, so let's go for our next set. Remembering all those cues I've told you to squeeze everything. We're gonna go nice and gently and slowly. Give your butt a punch at the top if you need to get that extra engagement. So let's tuck under and lift up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one. You know, we're going to stop at the top and we're going to pulse out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and relax down and drop out at the end. Okay, if you need to, bring your knees into your chest, just give your lower back a little massage out. If you are finding that you're getting any issues in the lower back, then this is a really good one to do, just to open everything back up again, but also just don't extend up as high into your glute bridge. So if you feel like you're going up a bit too much, then just go up to a point where you're comfortable. You can literally do your glute bridge like just halfway up if you want to. Okay, so just do what's comfortable for you. Okay, you may also find that it's better just to sit up in between your exercises. I'm just going to reset my blocks here. So just do whatever feels comfortable just to open out your lower back if you need to. But if this is not causing any lower back issues, then brilliant, we can carry on. All right, so let's go for our final set of this variation. We're going to tuck up, we're going to lift, we're going to maintain that pressure on the knees and lowering back out nice and controlled. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Going for our last one now. Holding at the top, squeezing the glutes. Let's go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And relax down. And hugging the knees in if you need to, just to give that lower back a little massage out. And then just come up sitting when you're ready. So for our next glute bridge variation and our final exercise for today, I've got myself a Pilates ball. You don't have to have a Pilates ball, you can have a cushion, you can use a yoga block, anything. We're just basically putting something between the legs so that we can squeeze it. Okay, I just find a Pilates ball is nice and comfortable to do that with, but a cushion will probably work just as well. Just try and get like a thick cushion so that you've got a little bit of space between your knees, okay? So again, lying face up, bringing the ball or whatever you've got in between your knees. And this time, as we lift up into our glute bridge, we're just going to squeeze the ball in between our knees and then come back down. So the same technique as we talked about in the last exercise. Okay, so keeping that squeeze, going for it straight away. We're going to lift up, right to the top, and then lower back down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, we're going to hold at the top. That's 10, squeeze the glutes, and we're going to do 10 pulses squeezing in. So we're going to go squeeze for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and relax back down. Bring your knees to your chest. If you want to stretch out the insides of your legs, you can just open out your legs if you need to. Just take a nice couple of deep breaths here. Just to give ourselves time to recover in between sets. Okay, once you feel ready to go, let's go for another set. So squeezing the ball between the knees and tucking under, lifting up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and holding at the top, squeezing the bum, and we're going to squeeze the knees in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, rolling back down, and then just resting for a second, stretching out the insides of the legs if you want to, or just bringing your knees up to your chest to roll out a little bit. Just do whatever feels good. Okay, getting ready for our last set now. Bringing the ball between the knees. And let's get ready, tucking under, lifting up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Hold at the top. We're going to squeeze for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relaxing back down, and you can come up to sitting. And we are done. That's all of our exercises for today. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it useful. And remember that we're going to be doing some more active lower body stuff for the final week of this month. So we're going to be going right into those end ranges of strength that we need for pole dancing. So today is just a really good base strength that you need to mitigate injuries and to prepare your body for some of the extreme stuff that we do on the pole. If you've enjoyed any of this content, then please go and visit my website, which is www.poledancing-therapist.com, where I have lots more tutorials on pole dancing and the floor-based stuff that you've seen today. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.